Now that we've seen which films didn't make the list, it's time to see which ones did make the list and in what order. Here we go again. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. You might say, well, hang on, this was released in 2015, and yes, you're right. However, I saw this and one other film in 2016 despite its release date, so it counts for this list. I was really distracted by the fact that the story is a new hope in a new skin, but that doesn't take away from the pure enjoyment of this film. It nods to the old and passes the torch on to a new generation. It just about beat out Moana purely down to the story. Moana's a bit more by the numbers, whereas this one leaves a lot open to interpretation. There isn't a sense of finality, but you know going in that this is one of three. And speaking of, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this develops as long as the standards are this high. XMen Apocalypse. After sort of rebooting everything with Days of Future Past, Apocalypse continues with the new cast of X-Men against an all-powerful mutant that can do almost everything and is immortal. I like the new twist on familiar characters and the story that genuinely has me thinking, how are they going to win? Quicksilver, as well as being humorous, actually has some backstory now and develops more as a character, as well as Magneto's struggle from beginning to end being a fascinating thing to watch. Fans may be divisive on how they feel about this film, but I walked away from the cinema thinking, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how that turned out. In my opinion, this is an excellent addition to the X-Men franchise. Captain America: Civil War. Speaking of character development, the change from goody two-shoes to renegade of Steve Rogers is completed with the third Captain America film. It may be about 20 minutes too long and tried to cram in way too many characters for one fight scene, but what Civil War does well, it does very well. The action is tense, and the introduction of Spider-Man is done pretty well. It leaves me very excited for that and the upcoming Infinity Wars movies. I'm not a fan of the fact that it's going to be in 2 parts, but it's still an enthralling premise. Black Panther's a very good new addition as well, and I'd like to see what they do with him in the future, as well as with Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Fans are always going to flock to see the latest thing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but when they're still this good after this much time, who can blame them? Central Intelligence. I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson. To see him play such a goofy character in Central Intelligence made me smile throughout. There's a really well played subplot over who the real enemy is, which honestly could have gone either way and it would have worked. The chemistry between Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson is also really apparent. It looks like they're friends in real life as well as in the film. With a script that doesn't have to rely on being crass or disgusting, it's a great way of making someone laugh throughout. Special mention to the marriage counselling scene. Now, I don't want to spoil, but it's worth a look on its own. I recommend this if you want to watch a buddy film which will genuinely make you laugh out loud. Doctor Strange. The trailers for Doctor Strange left me confused. I knew nothing about the comic book character and nothing much is revealed about the story, so I went in basically as a Marvel fan, not knowing what I was letting myself in for. The film itself explains the universe very well, has a very strong story, and sees excellent character development by Benedict Cumberbatch. Early on in the film, he reminds me of House MD, which is never a bad thing. The theme song has been stuck in my head for months afterwards, and I look forward to a second viewing, hopefully next time in 3D. In 2D, it was like Inception, only on steroids. In 3D, I suspect it would have blown my mind. The Jungle Book. The most genuinely surprising film on this list. I saw it out of boredom and curiosity, and since I didn't even enjoy the original, I had low expectations. With gorgeous visuals, an amazing cast, and a story that works better as a narrative instead of a few songs strung together, The Jungle Book 2016 is far superior to the original, and I'm happy to watch this again and again. If you haven't seen it yet, watch into the credits for Scarlett Johansson singing Trust in Me. As you can hear, it is haunting. This film serves as proof that remakes can be better than the originals. Now, about that Lion King remake coming up. Creed. Another film that was technically released in 2015, but I saw it in February 2016, so it makes this list. Now, I'd be a bit redundant to go over my reasons for loving this film, as I've already went over that in my Rocky series review. Check that out if you get the chance. It's a solid story, excellent soundtrack, and a well played out passing of the torch. It makes Creed an excellent movie, let alone a worthy entry into the long-standing Rocky series. Batman and Robin, Return of the Caped Crusaders. Holy tribute to the 60s, Batman! This animated feature starring original cast members Adam West, Burt Ward and Julie Newmar looks, feels and sounds like 60s Batman, complete with self-parody, hilarious jokes and a plot that's so silly it's hysterical. Critics will argue that the actors have aged a lot, and it's particularly present in Julie Newmar's voice, but at the same time, it's been 50 years and it sounds like these guys haven't missed a step. If you're a fan of 60s Batman, then you must, I repeat, must see this film. You'll be laughing so hard, you'll think you've inhaled Joker's laughing gas. The BFG. I'm going to start this by saying that I love the original book. I've read it multiple times, and I was a little bit worried about how this would translate to film. My fears were very quickly put to bed though in this perfect tribute, which looks amazing and is excellently presented. Mark Rylance, whose only well-known credit is Flop from Bing, if you know what that means, captures the spirit of the big friendly giant expertly. Everything goes together seamlessly. Kids will love it, grown-ups who love the book will adore it. I highly recommend this, and it only just missed out on top spot because of one certain film early in the year which absolutely blew everything else out the water. Deadpool. No surprise here, Deadpool is my number one choice for 2016. It's the only film I've ever come out of and thought, I want to go in and watch that again right now. It's a superhero movie that's rude, crude, violent, and has almost no fourth wall, as Deadpool often speaks to the audience directly. It's been a long time coming, and I know that Ryan Reynolds was a big advocate of making sure that this film came out exactly like the comics. Well, mission accomplished. I just hope the sequel holds up just as well. The only thing I laughed at more was Batman and Robin Return of the Caped Crusaders, but Deadpool adds so much more. Fourth wall breaking, clever humour, jabs at many other superheroes including Wolverine multiple times, great action sequences and a pretty decent story. I'm not going to say the writing's the best that I've seen this year, but honestly, as a complete film, Deadpool is the only one that I am still talking about nearly a year later. And so there it is, 2016 reviewed in 2 short videos. I'm sorry if I've missed a film that came out in 2016, but I can't watch everything. I can give an opinion though on the ones I do see. If you have a well-reasoned argument and disagree with my list, then please leave it in the comments. If you have an irrational argument, then please leave it elsewhere. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.